What's going on, guys? We are back talking about Sony's brand new 4K OLED TV, the A80K Bravia XR TV with the Bravia Cam. That's right, a camera that you can attach to the TV. Is it a little bit spooky to have in your bedroom? We're going to talk about the pros and the cons. By the way, we are not sponsored or paid by Sony for this review, but we do have a sponsor, and that is ASUS. Check it out.
This video is brought to you by ASUS. Check out the ASUS ZenBook 14X OLED Space Edition, commemorating the 25th anniversary of the first ASUS laptop sent into space. Not only does it offer a space-exclusive design, but it's even worthy of going where no man has gone before, with its space-grade durability. It even comes with a 3.5-inch OLED companion Zen Vision display, and you will have a ball of a time taking in the views with its 16:10 4K OLED Nano Edge Pantone validated 14-inch display.
So let's get down to talking about it. First and foremost, it's 65 inches for this variant right here. There is a 77-inch variant, and I would prefer to have that in my bedroom versus the 65. Reason being, I currently have a 75-inch TV that's being put on the shelf for the last few weeks since I've been having this in my room and testing it out. And as they say, for TVs, bigger is better. But speaking of which, let's talk about the performance of this TV, because that's what you guys are here to find out. Is it worth buying? Is this the TV that you need to have in your home? Well, first and foremost, Sony makes some of the best TVs out there in terms of black reproduction. This is something I noticed for my TV way back when I first had a Sony HD TV, not even 4K OLED. And the blacks are beautiful. You can see the details. Nothing looks crushed or it doesn't look too contrasty. It is really well calibrated right out of the box. Now, of course, you can calibrate these TVs to be how you want them to be. These are Google Android TVs, so a lot of the settings that you're going to see on other Android TVs will come into play here, but you have also Sony's UI, which is really impressive. But speaking of calibration, this is really easy to work with on this TV set, and I have to tell you, honestly, with the settings that Sony already had in the TV, I was pretty much up and going in no time flat, and I found the color profiles that I liked. They were very easy. Vivid is a little bit too vivid for me, so I like to go standard or cinema. But as I mentioned, the blacks are absolutely beautiful. And to talk about the pixels on this TV, this is a really good TV. When you're watching 4K, HDR, 10 plus, all that great stuff, you're watching Netflix, you're not gonna see pixels even close up. The pixel density is fantastic on this display. It is breathtakingly beautiful, and I think any of you out there who are pixel peepers, you're gonna be more than happy what Sony's doing with this A80K television set. It is awesome. But let's talk about the Android TV interface, and of course we'll get to the Bravia Cam, which is going to be a topic of I think consideration for some if you're going to want to get that or not. But anyway, let's talk about the performance. This is a very fast TV. Now, my TV of reference is a Xiaomi QLED TV, which of course is at a different price point at 75 inches. But comparing it to this Sony, they are just night and day. The responsiveness from Google Voice to just navigation, to go into your settings, to just your daily usage, this TV is blazing fast. I found no hiccups, I found no freezing, I found no issues with this TV whatsoever. And I want to show you what the settings look like on this as well, because the settings, if you go to your quick settings, it's so easy to find everything you want to find, except the Google Play Store. That's something that's an Android TV issue, not necessarily a Sony issue, but you cannot find that without actually digging deep within inside the menu or using Google Assistant to find Google Play or ask to open it up, and then you will find that to download your applications. But outside of that, this menu system is great. Now let's talk about the Bravia Cam for a moment here. Bravia Cam, this is going to be a topic of consideration for some. Do you want to have a camera on your TV, especially when it's placed in your bedroom? Now, if you're in an office setting or in a room that you have no need for privacy, no issues at all. The Bravia Cam, and then Sony's done some really good jobs of addressing privacy. First and foremost, you can turn off the camera with a physical button that will actually put a shutter over the camera system. So that means it will not work, and the TV will let you know that the Bravia Cam is not active. When it is active, you can do a variety of things. You can do gesture control. It can actually detect where you're sitting in terms of brightness for the television, in terms of audio. You can use it as a webcam for Google Meets or Skype or whatever you want to use in terms of your applications. And it works relatively well. It's a little bit slow, but it does detect your hand or other people's hands in the room, because it scans the entire room and it notices hands. So it's responsive in that way. But look, to be honest with you, this will do it probably faster and quicker. But again, if you're really lazy, let's say you left the controller in another room and you don't want to go up and get it and you're in bed, you're like, I'm tired, I don't want to get that controller. Oh, screw it, I'll just raise my hand. Here we go. Then you can do that. but it can only do certain functions. It can't control everything on the TV, so keep that in mind. But what I do like about this is it actually has this sort of person detection in the room. So let's say you leave the room for a period of time, it will then turn off the TV. Now, it won't turn off right away because sometimes we leave our room, grab a drink, go to the restroom, whatever it may be, and it won't turn off the TV right away. It'll wait a few minutes. But if it detects that people are not coming back to the bedroom or back to the respective room after a certain period of time, then it will turn off. It also detects light or ambient light within the room, and it will adjust the settings what's inside the TV, also audio as well, as I mentioned. So it does some really cool things, but again, some people may not want to have a camera in their bedroom like I have right here. I mean, it's a little bit creepy. It kind of is. Sony's done their best for the privacy control, but it's going to be an option of contention for some of you out there. But besides that, I do applaud Sony for the technology that they are adding inside of it. And I think over time with firmware updates, it will become more responsive and it will become more usable over time. But right now it just seems more of a kind of a, hey guys, this is what I have on my TV versus something that I would actually use. But speaking of assistants, let's talk about Google Assistant on this bad boy. It is phenomenal. It is so responsive and so quick. Case in point, hey Google, open up Disney Plus. There it is. Open up YouTube app.
Opening YouTube.
First of all, yes, I stand by.
See how quick it is? Hey Google, search Geek Culture videos on YouTube.
Sure, here are some videos.
There's our channel there, and there we are. That's how responsive this is. Now let's talk about the sound out of this TV because it is very impressive. And if you have never tried a Sony Bravia TV in the last couple of years, the speakers are kind of behind the screen and it comes through it. Very similar to what we see when we're in a theater, in a movie theater for that matter. And the sound is beautiful. It fills the room nicely. Now I have a sound bar here, because I have a kind of a like mini theater system in my room. But even using the stock speakers is fantastic. So if you do not have a sound system, which I would recommend getting because if you want to get a TV like this, great sound is a plus. It definitely will make a difference. Now, speaking of sound, there's also a setting inside the TV to actually enhance the clarity of someone's voice. So let's say you're watching a documentary, or even if you're watching a movie and there's a lot of other sounds out there, some TVs will kind of muddle it all together. Sony will differentiate the vocal audio versus the surrounding audio, which will help in that way. So it's kind of hard to depict the sound on YouTube here, but if you go to, let's say, one of those electronic superstores or a demo store, try it out, you'll see what I'm talking about. It is awesome. Another attribute that I like about this TV are where the ports are at. Now, on some TVs, the ports are underneath. Now, depending where you set up your TV, that can be very difficult. If you do not have a mounting system where you can pull the TV out and rotate it, it will be very hard to get to plug things inside the TV that way. Sony actually has it on the left side of the TV right here. And it's very easy to get to, and there's actually a little bit of space. So if you have larger hands like myself, you can plug those respective cables in there. We have HDMI cables, we have optical, we have Ethernet, USB. You're pretty much covered in various different ports. Whatever you want to connect to this TV, they've got you covered. And I'm glad they have it on the side versus underneath. Makes a world of difference. Now, in terms of the resolution on this, you can max it out at 4K 120 Hertz. So if you guys are into gaming, as I mentioned before, it will play up to 4K 120 Hertz if you have any gameplay that you want to take advantage of that. But again, Sony would optimize this TV for the PS5 because, guys, it's Sony. And Sony, why wouldn't they? One thing I do like about this TV as well is because I use iPhones and iPads and MacBook Pros is I have Apple AirPlay built into this as well as Chromecast. So you are covered in any which way you want to stream content and it works flawlessly on all those ways. As a matter of fact, sometimes I'm watching a video on my phone, on my iPhone, I come into my room, I say, do you want to stream it to the TV? Why, yes, I do, because I'm lazy that way. So I just press a button, it streams up there and I'm good, golden. Beautiful synchronization inside the Bravia XR TV with Apple and Chromecast, because of course it's Google. Has to work with Chromecast, right? Right. That is my roundup on this TV. Would I recommend it? Yes, I think the picture quality is absolutely fantastic. I know there's a lot of OLED TVs out there and there's a lot of competition, but what you're seeing from Sony is going to be one of the best picture reproductions out there for a lot of content that you're watching, especially if you're into cinema and movies, high-end 4K content. You're gonna really enjoy what this produces. It's beautiful, it's breathtaking, and it's gonna be sad to let it go, to be honest with you. But 65 inches for me is a little bit small. 77, that's the size I would go with if you go for this model or series of model for the Sony Bravia XR TV. So with that, guys, those are my thoughts. If you like this video, check out more of our reviews right here or here. I don't know, somewhere.